Businesses are relocating and expanding constantly. How can AI transform business location decision-making when choosing your next spot? I would like to invite Saule Gabriele Petraityte on the stage. Saule is a spatial data scientist and CEO at the Datahood, a location intelligence platform. She works with multiple projects that involve city planning, location prediction, and improving the quality of neighborhoods by the use of data. And don't forget to be active and share your questions, of course, by posting them in the auditorium wall. So, Saule, stage is yours.
Hi everyone, I'm Saule from Datahood team, and today I will introduce you to the concept of location intelligence and what does it mean to choose the best business location for your business using the power of data. So at Datahood, we started as a team of urban planners, city planners, and architects, and we analyzed different cities. And we realized that cities like Vilnius are very strongly centralized, which means that we have very active and flourishing city center where we have a lot of activities, bars, pubs, shops, and so many things to do. And at the same time, we have quite boring neighborhoods where the majority of people actually live. So this problem leads to increased car dependency because to meet their daily needs, people have to travel every day to go to their favorite bar, pub, or to kindergarten, for example. So we started asking ourselves, how do businesses decide to open up in places like city center or shopping malls, but at the same time they leave behind the potential of other neighborhoods? So we analyzed businesses and we realized that most of businesses, they don't do location analysis, or if they do, they count on quite outdated methods. Like some businesses still do go outside to the site that they're interested in and count people there manually, which means that the data that they are relying on is very dependent on that specific day, with that specific weather conditions, for example, or they use outdated national stats or limited surveys. And all these things, they bring quite unreliable insights. And most often these decisions are based on one person's gut feeling, which might lead to miscalculated risks. So this is where location intelligence can really help for businesses. And as most of algorithms and data science, everything is first of all based on data, which have to be accurate, which can answer us questions about what kind of people are living there, how do they move, what's the traffic around, what are the competitors, what are transactions done within the area, and what's the real estate potential within it. And having all this data, then we can analyze it and create algorithms that will help us to create location insights. So, for example, businesses can find the best performing site for their particular business, predict revenues in different locations, analyze markets based on specific criteria, or plan territories. And what's also very interesting, they can find what's most needed in the area by people that are living there. So, as for many algorithms, the core, the base of all this location intelligence is, of course, data. So in our case, we use both aggregated open data, which can answer us a question, what kind of people are there, what's the area, what's the physical space around, what's the connectivity infrastructure. But it's also very important to add data that could answer us questions about people flow. So for example, how do people travel within the area? How does the intensity of the area change within the day or within the year? And, for example, what kind of transactions are done within specific location? Is it more suitable for flower shop or for the coffee shop? And what's also very, very important to consider is real estate information. So it's not only finding the location, the area that might look as a very potential for that specific business, but also to understand what's the supply, what's the offer from that particular area. So location intelligence consists of few basic steps, and the most simple, the most basic step is to analyze single locations within specific catchment area. At Datahood, we use a catchment area of 10-minute walkable distance. We consider this distance because we believe that people are most likely to walk 10 minutes. If the distance is more far away to the business that they need or activities that they need to reach, they would mostly likely to use a car and then probably go to your competitor instead to the place that you're operating. This is why we consider 10 minutes as a catchment area, and then within that catchment area we analyze all our multiple data sources that we consider. After doing single location analysis, we can compare multiple locations and to understand, for example, if business is already running in 5 different locations, we can analyze them through those factors and to see, okay, maybe if this location is performing for me well, what's the data that is influencing? Is it the amount of people? Is it specific group of people, like younger people or older people? Is it distance to the city center, and so on? It also works when the business is looking for a new location. So if it knows the location where it's already performing quite well, it can compare new potential locations to its benchmark through the data that we can analyze. Probably the most interesting part of location intelligence is discovering the most attractive locations based on the business's needs. So from the criteria that we analyzed before, or from the criteria that business knows about its audience, we can predict the best performing location within the city. So for example, we had one client that was looking for a new location where it would be more than 5,000 older age women, and the area would have to have no competitors yet, and the area also have to be expanding, so it will double its population within 10 years. And by having these criteria that are described, for example, by business, we can look for those new specific areas. And what's more interesting, if business is already running in a few different locations, we can then, by knowing which location is performing better, we can then feed it and merge it with our data, and applying machine learning algorithms, we can predict what's the most potential location for that business by the factors that are identified by our algorithms. Which means that if you're a business and you think that you're looking for a place with 5,000 older age women, but you might never consider that actually the influence that is done is not only by this population, but also maybe by the distance to the bus stop, or by the hospital which is nearby. That's why people are choosing your business. So the data can unveil really interesting things that you never thought about. Location intelligence also works the other way around. So we also do predictions what's most needed in specific areas by people that are living there. In this example, we created Hood Index in order to say what's most needed in different neighborhoods by people that are living there. So for example, if developer is developing area in one specific location, and it wants to understand, is it better to build a sport facility or is it better to open the coffee shop, we can tell that by analyzing what's most needed in that location. So the tool is also useful for developers and for city planners, because then they can decide what's most needed in that specific place for its citizens. The main verticals that are benefiting from location data are, first of all, of course, retail and hospitality and other services that are highly dependent on the location that they operate in. But also, as I mentioned, it's important for real estate developers and can be used by city planners, so they can decide what's most needed, what's most profitable in that specific location. Businesses using location intelligence can really increase revenue because they don't blindly shoot to any random location, but they choose by data, and they can increase efficiency because they speed up the process. At the same time, they save money because they don't need to collect data manually or hire data analysts, and all the reports and everything and all the insights are generated in the way so it's easy understandable by people that don't have data analysis prior knowledge. Probably the most important aspect from location intelligence, that by showing businesses the location that they can operate better and where they meet their audience, and by bringing those businesses to the locations they are most needed, we can make our neighborhoods more walkable. This means that people don't need to travel every day by car to the places that they need daily, and this reduces car dependency and congestion and traffic. It also improves community resilience, and what's also very important, it increases real estate value, not only for the new developments, but also for people that are already living there. So by using location intelligence, businesses can do both, increase revenue and make positive impact at neighborhoods that they operate. So to sum up, we believe that the future is hyper-local, and we help businesses to find perfect locations for the ventures by providing hidden opportunities of data. This leads to a global goal to increase quality of life for cities, in cities for people. Thank you very much. I'm Saule from DataHood, and really look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saule, for a very interesting approach towards the data and the data that cities hold. I have two questions that I'd like to explore together with you. The first one is, did recent pandemic, or let's say COVID-19, have any impact on such decisions or services as it shifted the trends? Working from home rather than from the offices, less mobility in the cities, and etc.
Yes, very good question indeed. I would say that the first lockdown, when it happened rapidly and quite unexpected for everyone, then it really changed because, of course, we were not allowed to go to businesses, to go outside. So, of course, it dramatically shifted the amount of traffic, the amount of transport, and people stayed at home more. But now we see that the tendency is that everything is going back to previous normal, if you can call so. But also what's very interesting, we noticed that people started valuing what's near their home. So they started, because they were not allowed to travel anymore, they started walking around, they started seeing what's within the area they are living more. So I think it really shifted in a way, so people started understanding the value of other businesses being around, so they might not need to go more far away to city center. I would say it's a positive shift.
I would love to double up on that, and that I'm looking at my own way of acting. I actually started to discover very interesting places across my neighborhood. Okay, another question that is also very much interesting for me. Could your data be used for governmental or public institutions rather than businesses? For example, planning kindergartens, hospitals, or other public offices?
Absolutely.
So it's a B2G now, yeah?
Both. It's not a secret that we already collaborating with municipalities and city planners in order to answer these questions. So one of those is, where should we put first those 5,000 trees that we decided to plant? Where would be the biggest impact? The other one is, for example, where should we develop health services? Looking at the predictions of population in 5 years, should we do them in this area or in that area, and what kind of services will be mostly needed? So there are many different cases, quite exciting.
Amazing. So good luck on what you do. Good luck with your project and a startup. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Saule Gabriele Petraityte, co-founder and CEO of DataHood.
Thank you.